Hi everyone and welcome to episode 19 of Coffee with Cheese. I'm your host Narciso Bomben. In this week's episode, I wanted to talk to you about gray rhinos and specifically their impact on your money. So not the animal, the gray rhino, but the concept. There's an amazing book out there written by Michele Wucker that talks about gray rhinos. So let me first explain a little bit and then we'll make the transition to talking about a couple of situations as it has to do within the world of finances. So if you've ever heard of a black swan event in the world of business or the economy or government or society, it's really an event that is highly impactful. It's not probable, so it doesn't happen all the time, but it's happened over history. And you really can't see it coming, so you just deal with it the best you can when it happens. The Gray Rhino event, conversely, is also highly impactful, but it's also more common or more probable than the black rhino. And if you're paying attention, you can actually see the signs coming. Some would say things like climate change, water shortages across certain parts of the world, even maybe COVID, a pandemic, are examples of gray rhino events that if you pay attention, you might be able to be more proactive around preventing them. So I'm certainly not going to dive into those issues here. Those are for other people in different industries. But as it relates to your finances, it really got me thinking about this as I read the book, right? So here are a couple of examples. If you think about in the short term, in terms of spending for today and funding your lifestyle, ideally growing your net worth to fund future goals, a lot of times people can get into challenges around not saving, number one, and worse than that, incurring debt and building up debt by spending more than they make after taxes, right? And as Michele talks about in the book, a lot of times these events happen for emotional and behavioral reasons, right? You go through a couple of stages when gray rhinos are happening. First is a stage of denial, that the event has even taken place or that an event will happen. Then you're kind of muddling around, I should do something. My credit card debt is getting too high, or maybe my lines of credit are getting too high. And then eventually you're like, okay, I got to diagnose this problem and fix it. And hopefully it's done before things get worse or not solvable, right? So in the short run, this kind of happens, and it's really preventing you from building your net worth accordingly. But if you think about the more mid to long term strategic impacts of gray rhinos as it relates to your money, is goal setting and really achieving major life goals such as retirement, kids education, maybe another major purchase goal such as a cottage, right? If you wait too long on these goals, quite simply, there's going to be compromises that need to happen. And in my experience, it kind of goes back to that first point I made around balancing today for tomorrow. If you're not making the sacrifices today, if you're not realizing that playing catch up later might be very, very difficult or impossible, it's really difficult to take care of, right? So the best way I know to avoid what I would call the denial or the muddling stages that Michele talks about when saving for long-term goals is you've got to really do an assessment of where you are today. You have to do kind of a reality check and get some clarity around where am I today, and based on doing the same things that I'm doing today, am I on track to get to where I want to be, right? So in the world of personal finances, we really have the opportunity to avoid any and all gray rhinos as long as we're proactive and take the time to deal with them, right? So again, this simple concept and approach, I still see a lot of difficulty with people achieving out there for a variety of reasons, especially if you're in your middle ages or peak earning years, is again, we're busy with family, our careers, maybe we own a business, right? But if it's important enough, you need to spend the time on it. So what I'm offering, and as I've offered kind of in the previous 18 episodes of Coffee with Cheese, is rather than a one-to-many virtual coffee, but a one-to-one virtual coffee, even as a 30-minute initial kind of consultation to talk about how can we quickly do a snapshot or an assessment, because it doesn't take a lot of time. But the benefits are if you've already kind of caught on to what a gray rhino is, and if not, I encourage reading the book. It's a fantastic read. Is it will prevent future problems. And these aren't problems that, may not impact you. If you think about some of the things I talked about in society, some of these bigger issues may or may not impact you, but your personal finances always will, right? So it's important to make the time, and I'm offering that to you today. So think gray rhinos, think about your money, try to avoid being trampled by one, and really, if you're proactive enough, you turn it into an opportunity for you and your family. Again, thanks for watching. I wish you a great rest of the day, and as always, feel free to comment any questions and reach out. I'd be happy to spend some time with you.